In this video, I will show you how to create this simple React app that basically allows you to vote for the World Cup winner. So you click on these buttons and the numbers here will increase. So let's get started. So what is React? React is a JavaScript library for creating user interfaces. It's not a framework, so it's not the full solution. React only deals with the view layer, unlike some other frameworks like Angular or Ember. So React is only the V part in the MVC. So why use React? Because React is faster than other solutions that require updating the browser's DOM directly, which is kind of expensive. React uses a virtual DOM, which is a more efficient way to update the elements on the screen. Basically, React takes a lot of decisions for us to optimize the performance of the rendering process, so you don't have to think about that. React is maintained by Facebook, which is kind of big company, so that can give you some peace of mind. And the last one is because jQuery is not cool anymore. React implements many different libraries and technologies. So if you have been doing front-end development for some time, you will probably be familiar with some of them, but if not, I would recommend you to take a look at the exe syntax because they will help you a lot when reading and writing React code. So the first thing I want to do is to identify the different components that will be used in my application. React uses components of the basic unit of code, and you can basically reuse them. As you can see here, we're using the theme component in two different places, but it's basically just one file. So I will have an app.js component that will be the parent of all the other components, and we will have a theme.js component and another for the counter and the vote button that will be called vote counter.js. And in the middle we'll have an image component, an image tag, but in JSX when you type the image tag, that will be basically a component, but it's a component provided by React. Okay, so before we start working with React, we need Node.js. Node.js is a JavaScript engine, so it basically allows you to run JavaScript on the console or on the server side. There should be an installer for your operating system. For example, here's the one for the Mac OS. You can check if you have Node on your computer running Node-B. You can see here I have the 10.6.0 version, and the same for npm. So if you have npm, if you have Node, you should have npm because it comes with Node. And if everything is there, we can install the Node, the React create project, create React app tool. Should be -g, so the binary is globally installed. I already have it, but let's run this anyway. So now that we have this binary, we can run the create React app and the name of the application that we are going to create. In this case, I will call this World Cup poll. So now Yarn will start downloading all these packages that are required by React. once this is done, you can see a success message and some example commands. So the one we want to run is yarn start. Oh, sorry, we need to cd into the folder. And this command basically will start running a web server in your computer, and it will run on port 3000. So you should see a welcome to React page. It tells you that if you edit the app.js file, basically you can change this page. So let's do that. Type bi.js. Okay, so at the top of the file we can see some imports. Basically every component in React starts like this. You import the module React and you import this other module component. This is the curly braces is because this is a named module, sorry. So that's not really important right now, but just wanted to mention that. So here is the title of the page we see in the browser. If we change something and we save and we check that in the browser, you can see that it basically automatically refreshes the browser. So that's nice. I won't use any of this code, so let's delete this and make this lowercase. Sorry, if you see why if you are wondering why my format changes automatically, it's because I use Prettier. So basically Prettier tries to make it look better every time I save. There's another video on my channel for that if you are interested. So now let's add some new title here. Say Russia 2018 World Cup winner. Save this, check here, and we can see the title. So now let's clean this up. The first component I want to create is the team component. So let's create a new folder called components. And let's actually create all the files for the components, the team, and the bolt counter. Here we need to import team from components team, just like that. So this dot means that it should be in the same folder of this file, and let's see. Okay, no error, so that looks correct. So let's add a new tag here, team. Let's pass this property called boats. Just let's hard code that for now. But we need to work on the component. So let's open the file. Can just copy this code from here. And this. And let's change this class name to team. When you see this class name property here, instead in React, when you want to use a CSS class, you always need to use this class name instead of just class, or you will get an error. So let's remove this and save. Actually, let's put something here. Okay, that looks like it's working. So what now? Let's now create this. Let's add this other component here, the boat counter. And let's open the other file. And do the same thing. Oh, sorry, I need to. This is actually team and team. This is the name of the component. Let's copy this. This will be called boat counter, and here I will call this boat box. And this will be called boat counter. And I think that's it. Let's put something here. Okay, so here we need to import this other component. Components boat counter. The module boat counter is not there. Oh, actually this component is in the same folder. So that looks correct now. So let's work on the boat counter first. So this component will have a button. The class name, boat button, and let's put here boat, the label, and also we need a little box to show the number of boats. let's call this class boat. And let's show something here. Okay, that looks correct. You can see the 100 here and the button below. So the app.js doesn't have any relationship with the boat counter. It basically needs to communicate with the team component first, and the team component is the one that communicates with the boat counter. So what we need to do here is to pass these props down to the boat counter. So let's change this so we can see the change. Here in the team component, we will pass the boats prop, and we call this .props.boats. And here in the boat counter, we do the same. So we should see here the 200. Basically, we're passing down this prop boat to the team component here, and to the boat counter here. So that's one of the things that is really important to get familiar with React. Basically, when you don't have something like Redux or things like that, you basically need to pass a lot of information down to the child components. So the other thing we can do here is to add the images. Let's add the images that I have. So in the team component, we have the team logo. So we need to pass that from I will pass that from the app.js. We can use import to do that. And let's pass this to this component here. So we need two components, two team components, one for Croatia and the other one for France. So we are passing these props called logo, and here we'll use that. This .props.logo. Let's add some alt text for accessibility purposes. Let's check on the site. So here we can see the two logos. So now let's make this look better. Let's open the CSS file. I don't need any of this, and I will just copy the CSS I already have because I don't want to spend time on that. But basically I'm just putting some colors to the page, to the headers, centering the text, making the blocks inline so they're basically in just one line. Some simple stuff here. So now this looks a lot better. But this doesn't have any functionality right now. So now what we need to do is to add some state to these components. So usually when you add a state to a component in React, you do it from the parent component always, or that's basically what's recommended. So now let's add that. So my topmost component is the app component. So we will add the state here. Basically, we need two variables. One for the votes for Croatia, and the other one is the votes for France. So what we can do, every tutorial shows you, is that you use a constructor here, and you pop some props, and here you say super props. This basically allows you to pass these props to the parent class, and here we say state, and for example you say Croatia votes 0 and France votes will be 0. And once you have that state, you can basically use it here. And you use the this.state.Croatia votes here. Let's check that out. Okay, yeah, we see the 0 here. So now it's using the state. And let's do the same for this one. But there's actually another way that is basically recently incorporated. You only need to define the state like this. And this also works. Basically, this looks a lot cleaner. Oh, either way, you can use any of the different forms, but I think this one is a lot clearer. So what else? So the next thing we can do is to add functionality to these buttons. So let's do that. One thing you probably notice is that this component is basically the one that will handle the click. So I want to create all the functionality here in the parent component, which is the app. So we'll need to pass that click event to the other components so it gets here. So let's do that. Let's create a new function, handle click. We'll use team to know which one was click. Let's actually copy. No. This dot set state. Croatia boats. This dot state dot Croatia boats +1. And let's do this the same for, actually just let's do this one first. So we need to tell this component here that to do something when the button is click. So for that we can use the onClick here and say that when this is click, to call this props .click .onClick. And what this will do is to call the property onClick of the parent component, which is this one here, the team, because that's the parent component. And we need to do the same here, so we can call the onClick on the app component. So let's do that here. Yes, here. Okay, onClick. So let's now go to the app component, and here we need to tell need to do the same here, onClick. This dot handle click. We will call the function we created, and we will pass the name of the team. In this case is France. And here let's just copy all this code. And this will be Croatia. What did I do? Okay, I think that this looks correct. See if there's no error. So this one works, but this one is not really done yet. But one thing here, so usually you see that when someone is creating something that basically increments a value or changes a value here, depending on the previous one, this is usually done, but this is not correct, because when you depend on the previous value for the state, you are basically doing this wrong, because this method set state is asynchronous. Basically, React can batch all these changes, and so you don't know if the previous state is really the one you are setting here. So to fix this, we can use another form. We can use another way to do it. And it's using this notation. Okay, this works. So what we are doing here is to tell React that use the previous state of the previous value of this state, and increment that value by 1 instead of using the other notation. So this is actually better, and let's copy this and use it for the other team. Here. So now both buttons should work. Okay, that looks correct. What else we can do here is to add the image for the trophy. So Alt. And let's import that here. And this looks a lot better. So I think that's it for this video. So a real application will save the state somewhere, so that it is not lost when you refresh the page. So, and you probably will use something like Redux for managing that state. So basically, you will have something like Firebase or your local storage to save that state. But in this video, we will uncover that. So I think that's it. If you find this video useful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks.